In 1986, after the loss of his father, he became a farmer. At that time, this was the way to provide and support his family. He raises chickens, goats, and guinea fowl. At dawn, like most farmers, he's up to work. He feeds his chickens with grains from his own fields. He gathers cow dung, leaves it to ferment for days, and feeds the termites to his chickens. He ensures his animals are fed with healthy, nutritious food. Meet Mr. Fuseini Bugbun from the town of Gondong in the Nabdam District, from the Upper East region of Ghana. For the past 33 years, he's been practicing agroecology, incorporating trees, natural compost, raising goats, and ensuring that all living organisms are welcome and can contribute to his farm's ecosystem. Welcome to Living the Ancestral Way with Abena. Mr. Fuseini, tell us about yourself.
I'm Mr. Fuseini Bugbun, an organic farmer, and at the same time practicing agroecology. I was born in Kumasi by Mr. Bugbun and his wife Ayimpoka Bugbun. They both stayed in Kumasi and were all born there. So I did my schooling there, elementary. And when I was in P6, going to Form 1 by then, so my father brought us home because he wanted us to really know the life of where we come from.
What do you grow? Why do you grow what you grow? What are you growing in the rainy season? What are you growing in the dry season? And what kind of crops do you have? What is the diversity of the crops that you have?
Yes, I grow a variety of crops in the rainy season. I grow this millet, maize, vegetable crops, like sweet potatoes and the rest, the frafra potato. And after harvesting, in the dry season, I do pepper, and at times I do vegetables like bean sprout, you see, and they have market because everybody needs to, because of their scarcity in the dry season, they like to buy some and prepare their soup locally, you know, the indigenous system.
Yes.
Yeah, you see. And looking at what I have in the garden there too, I have moringa, I have cashew, I have mangoes, I have guava, cassava, plantain, pawpaw, I have cocoa.
Wow.
Yes, I've introduced apple, which I have the hope that it will develop.
Yeah.
And also I have a small cola, plant, which I'm thinking it will do well. Yeah, and also apart from that, also I do beekeeping, but unfortunately the beehive got spoiled, and I intend having new one to just make it fine for the bees to come in, that is to attract them. See, and also in addition, I also keep animals, because practicing agroecology or organic farming, you need to have crop livestock mixed, so that you can get income, and at the same time you can use the waste to recycle nutrients for your soil, you see, so that you can have a sustainable harvest, you see. So these are some of the things I do. And also in addition, I have a fish pond, though when you came you saw it, but because of the labor intensive, so I was not able to really habilitate it.
Come with me. I'm excited to show you what Mr. Fuseini is growing on his farm.
Yeah, this is cocoa. What the Southerners believe could not do in this part of the North. but I'm assuring them that we can do equally. Because cocoa wasn't an indigenous crop for the Ashantis or the Benchres or the Bono people. It was the Tekwashi who brought it from Fernando Po with the determination that it will do. And actually, because of his hope, it did well. Now, where is Tekwashi? He has gone. He's in heaven. So whenever we argue, we always argue on cocoa, southern crops. And they do say, no, cocoa can't do, you see. And I like what can do. And actually, I had a friend who is in Enchi, the forest zone. Actually, one day he paid a visit to me. And when he came, he was very, very happy. He said, really, you have done well. Because they are in the forest zone, but at least they can cope with me. Just look at dry area. And I've just developed in this situation. So 100%. So surely he will get me a cocoa so that I will start with it. And actually, within 2 weeks, he just sent his brother to bring those pots. I nursed them in bags. And fortunately, some germinated and some no. So I refill. And finally, all germinated. So I just selected the best ones and transplant. And actually, this is the development. You see? And it has really supported me and the community, those around and far, and even I can say the whole Ghana. Because people come from far to really see what is on the ground. Even at times they see me on telly and say, no, it's not this place. It's down south. They only want to fool Ghanaians. And I assure them, yes, it's from the north. Nabdam District, a small village, Gundok. Yes. So, I even move ahead, trying to do something which is even more surprising. I have started with an apple tree, though. I want to see what will come out of that, you see. So cocoa is a common thing because we are all from the same tropical zone. And I don't see why we can't grow cocoa. But only we are not given the support. That's why we can't. But if there is support, we can do this. Because we have riversides, we have valleys, so we can equally do that.
What's fascinating about Mr. Fuseini's ability to grow cocoa is that the weather conditions are said to be unfavorable in the Upper East region. In the dry season, it's hot, almost unbearable in March and April, and yet he's created the necessary conditions in his garden for 22 cocoa plants to thrive and produce fruit.
That's kwansusa. I call it the blood giver. Because I cultivate kwansusa, I have to give it my name. I need to name it. You see, so that's the blood giver. So if you are told you are short of blood, come to me.
Kwansusa is also called turkey berry. It's tiny, but a nutritional powerhouse.
This is an apple, young, it's a plant. You see, my daughter just visited me because, you know, if you are visiting your father, you need to bring something for him to enjoy. Yes. And because I love fruits, so she brought me some apple to eat. And after I just ate, she encouraged me to just use the seeds. Maybe it might germinate. So I just sighted just by a cocoa tree. You see, for about 2 weeks. Then I brought it aside so that halfway the condition of the cocoa, that's the cool weather, then the outer receiving sunshine, because this is to make it familiar with the environment. And if it is somewhere, let's take it, if it is somewhere 9 or 8:30, I send it back fully under the cocoa tree. So the next day after watering, I will side it in between the shade and the sun. You see, by 8:30 to 9, I send it back. So within a month, getting to 2, I just saw that yes, it was picking up. You see, picking up. Then I said, no, this plant is really familiar with the method I'm using.
Apples can't grow in Ghana, but Mr. Fuseini lives and grows food by the principles of nature, incorporating trees, natural grasses, and building his own composting system.
Composting is when you gather cow dung or any waste together with what the droppings of the leaves, the dead leaves, if you gather them together with the waste, cow dung, if you mix them together, then you just allow them to decompose at their final stage. That tells you that it's compost, yeah, after decomposition. Yeah. And the advantage is that if you use compost on your farm, you have a quality product. Yeah, what you produce is more distant, it has the quality and also the good taste as compared to the chemical fertilizer. You can see how rich it is. Look at the farming using just my left. All these are decomposed. They are decomposed. So even at times, I gather all this just to fertilize my land. I don't go elsewhere to buy, but it is within the environment. That's why it's good we practice agroecology, because it modifies the place, protects the place, and fertilizes the place. So the farmer, a poor person, then why should he then use the money to just buy fertilizer for other things and chemicals? No. So I decided to take organic as a passion. Jatropha has less than 2 ways of propagating. That is, you can use the seeds or stem propagation. So if you use the seeds, after germination, they go fast. Considering if the condition is favorable, they grow very well. And if you don't want to use the stem, that's stem propagation, you can also do the same thing and then fix in line by loosening the soil in order to allow them go up. So these are the 2 methods of propagating. This plant is really good. It's snake repellent. And secondly, it has a medicinal use, you see, but it differs from one locality to another. Something that you are not used to, you can't really believe or use it because it might be harmful in one way or the other. And also, it is a sort of plant that really fertilizes soils.
Mr. Fuseini has also fenced his entire garden with Jatropha. It's a source of biodiesel, it's drought resistant, and it grows well in poor soil. He's truly an advocate for growing organic foods. For him, healthy soils nourish healthy people. It's about nurturing trees, birds, animals, and building a sustainable farm for all living things. 33 years ago, he planted this mango tree after the heartbreak of losing his father. And today, this farmer sits under the shade of his labor.